is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are FC.
Royals baseball from Kauffman Stadium. A victory tonight. The Royals sweep a doubleheader and a 3-game series from the Boston Red Sox. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. And if you missed game one, the Royals won 3-2. Brian Flynn got his first major league victory. The Royals were able to get past Stephen Wright, who pitched a complete game for the Red Sox. Ian Kennedy had a season-high 9 strikeouts. And the game-winning RBI, Lorenzo Cain, his 6th of the year. That leads the American League. And Hud, anytime you have a close game like that, 3-2, there are going to be some close calls.
There are going to be, Rhino, but I'll tell you, Kennedy, he took the ball and went right after these guys, just like Ventura did. But that first and third nobody out situation was timely. This young man worked his way out of it against the most powerful and most productive lineup, but he needed some help. Escobar saved a run right there. Hopper, great pick. This was a really fun game to watch because they had all the elements, pitching and defense, and they're not done. Dyson nails Bogarts. I didn't think he had a chance at him. Great throw, tagged by Cuthbert. He's out. Hat tips to everyone. That was fantastic. His 5th outfield assist of the year. Dyson, Paulo Orlando, couple of players in right field doing the job for Ned Yost.
And we have a roster move to discuss with you down the line. Whit Merrifield was called up from AAA. We saw good pitching in game 1 of the doubleheader. We expect to see the same in game 2 as the Royals will send Edinson Volquez to the mound against David Price. The Royals will face him for the first time in a Red Sox uniform. And we'll talk pitching after this. We expect more good pitching in the nightcap of the day-night doubleheader. Here are the Golden Oak keys to the game.
Volquez, in order for him to do his thing, he needs to pitch to contact. That's for sure. I tell you, that 1.35 ERA at home, it's working because he's getting it done. and he has the ability to strike guys out, but he prefers, and his defense prefers, to work and keep them on their toes. Now Price, on the other side, got to put the ball in play on this guy. He leads the American League with 65 strikeouts. He's got a big fastball, but the Royals, they feast on guys like him, hitting over 280. They got to put it in play to win.
4 days ago, the Royals were 6.5 games back already in the Central. Where are they now? We'll tell you right after this. For the first time in over a month, and along the way have gained some ground in the standings. Panera gives us a look at the American League Central. Hud, I don't know how important the standings are right now, but in the last 4 days, the Royals have picked up 2.5 games.
Oh, it can happen quickly, especially when you find the 3 areas you got to perform in: that pitching, defense, and timely hitting. And we've seen that here in their little mini streak. Long way to the top, but you know what? The Royals are playing their brand of baseball. In the next 2 weeks, they're playing the White Sox a couple of different times, and Minnesota, some teams in their own division. It's going to determine a lot of what goes on the rest of the summer.
And first things first, the Royals need to take care of the Red Sox tonight, hoping for a sweep of the doubleheader. And if they do so, they will win 4 consecutive games. Rusty Kuntz is going over the scouting reports with Whit Merrifield. Merrifield will make his big league debut tonight in left field against David Price and the Boston Red Sox. Game 3 of the series, game 2 of the doubleheader. The first pitch is coming up next. Baseball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your Midwest Ford dealers, visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. So there he is. You never know what's going to happen in one man's major league career, but they all have a first day, and this is it for Whit Merrifield. There's his family as they record it as he takes the field. On the far right, his father and his mother. Here's what he's done at AAA Omaha, and of all that he's accomplished this year, the bottom line is the one that seems to come up more than any other. 16 stolen bases. He can play all over the field, and if he's on the bench, he's someone that Ned Yost can point to late in games to come out and run.
That's right. He can do that as well as everything else but sell popcorn. 7 positions he could play, and that's really important for Ned Yost and any manager for that matter. He's waited a long time. 707 career minor league games and over 2,000 at bats. He's ready. Give him a shot. Versatility is what Ned loves, and there's his folks.
His dad standing up. His father Bill has been his hitting coach since he was 2, and he played in the minor leagues after going to Wake Forest, where he met Kissy, his wife, on the far right, and she was a tennis player at Wake Forest. So it comes from an athletic family, and here's Whit in the big leagues.
On top of that, 5-time South Carolina tennis champ was Kissy, his mother.
And he'll be defending behind Edinson Volquez, which means he should be pretty busy because Volquez is a strike thrower, and especially in his last start when he took full advantage of an aggressive Atlanta Braves team, got a lot of quick outs, stayed aggressive with his fastball, and staying aggressive with the fastball has worked well for Yordano Ventura and Ian Kennedy in this series with the Red Sox. So here's their batting order for tonight. Mookie Betts came in as a hot hitter. The Royals have pitched him well. He is just 1 for 8 with a single and 3 strikeouts. First pitch is high for ball one.
Volquez fastball, curveball, changeup, and when he's going good, he's getting some good run into the righty. His changeup goes in and away into righties, away from lefties, and his curveball's a good one if he keeps it down. Averages about 93 on his fastball. Betts 2 for 6 with a homer off of Volquez in his lifetime.
Two balls and one strike. Volquez only needed 83 pitches in his start on Friday against the Braves. 83 pitches in 7 innings. Tested right away. Merrifield goes back, and he's going to have to play it off the wall. Betts will stop at second base with a game-opening double.
Eighth double. Fastball over the middle of the plate. Betts didn't miss it. It's not a left fielder in baseball catch that ball. Nothing better too to get the first action out of the way.
You know, I was just thinking, I didn't see him out on the field at all in between games of the doubleheader. So he's playing at Kauffman Stadium for the first time. He didn't have all the batting practice to see the ball come off the bat and get comfortable out in left field. I mean, the first ball hit his way is the first batter of the game, and even though he didn't make the catch, I'll bet he feels a little more comfortable out there.
Rusty Kuntz and Mitch Myers took him out in between games. In between the game here, I saw him out there, and he got about 40 or 45 fly balls. So they kind of gave him a little something, but nothing like game atmosphere.
Xander Bogaerts. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Going over the scouting report on all the hitters. And then Rusty is always there to remind the outfield defense when the batter comes to the plate.
So there's enough in your major league debut with nerves and all that stuff to not get overloaded with information. Now Rusty's just giving him a few little things. He needs to go out there and just react and play the game. Keep an eye on Rusty. He'll move him.
2-1 on Bogaerts.
And I'm sure that's what Rusty told him.
Bogaerts has hit in 12 straight games after getting 2 hits in the first game of the doubleheader. So he now has 56 hits to lead the American League. Three and one.
One thing to keep an eye on is Edinson Volquez's tempo. So far in this inning, he's doing a lot of posturing around. Previous 2 starters before him, Ventura and Ian Kennedy, got that ball, went right after him, attacked, had a good tempo going here. He might have to pick it up a little bit.
Below the knees. So a double and a walk to put 2 on for the middle of the order. Defensively for the Royals, presented by Ford. Merrifield in left, so Alex Gordon gets the day off. Kane in center, Paulo Orlando back in right. Cuthbert, Escobar, Infante, and Hosmer around the horn. And Salvador Perez is behind the plate. By the way, to get Merrifield on the roster, Christian Colon was option to AAA. As Ortiz takes outside. Merrifield was not on the 40-man roster. So technically his contract was purchased from AAA. And outfielder Jose Martinez has been designated for assignment. Martinez won a batting title last year for AAA Omaha.
And he has an average throwing arm from the outfield, but Rusty told me he's got a very quick release, so that improves that average mark.
Right field, well hit. Back goes Orlando, and he makes a play. Betts tags. Bogaerts was almost all the way to second base. He had two runners, kind of odd, sprinting in opposite directions. Betts sprinting to third and Bogaerts sprinting back to first.
And that's exactly what you want to do. You want the first base runner to go almost all the way to second base. In case he misses it, he has a chance to get to third base. And Betts can score from second if he misses the ball.
And now Volquez and Hanley Ramirez. And Ramirez has seen Volquez in 23 at-bats and has just 5 hits. Ramirez did not start in game 1, but he came on as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning and flied to the warning track in center field to end the game.
Put him in the lane.
Breaking ball for a strike.
Ground into 3 double plays has Hanley Ramirez. That's what Volquez would love to see happen here. Bogaerts has 6 steals. He's been caught once.
Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. The Red Sox, after the 2 games of the Royals, still lead the league, lead the major leagues in batting average, runs scored, doubles, and slugging percentage, but they've only scored 6 runs. 4 last night and 2 earlier today. They have also been the best team in the American League in the first inning. But they have been scoreless in that inning in the first 2 games. On the ground to Cuthbert. Out at second. Throw to first. Double play. Edinson Volquez. After the Red Sox had 2 on and nobody out, gets out of it.
He'll 5-4-3. They'll take it any way you can around the horn. Beautiful turn. Very nice.
Makes his way to the plate. Escobar singled and scored in the first inning of game 1, scoring on an Eric Hosmer home run. He drove in a run last night. So there's the starting lineup with Salvador Perez back in there, Omar Infante back in there, Paulo Orlando back in there, and Whit Merrifield. David Price got all that money during the offseason He is 5-1. He leads the league in strikeouts, but his ERA is 6. So you ask, and here's a little lesson in baseball numbers. So you ask, how can a guy go 5-1 and have an ERA of 6? You do not pass go. You do not collect $200. You go directly to run support. Our Toyota League leaders shows you why. This is how you can be 5-1 with a 6 ERA. He has the best run support of any team in the American League.
Yeah, up to this point. David Price, fastball. He cuts the fastball, curveball and a changeup. Aggressive to right-handers with the cutter in on their hands. Likes to come right in there, and they're getting their kitchen. Follow up with changeups.
There's that cutter. 2-1.
Right-handed hitters have done the most damage against Price. Obviously, very tough on lefties, but 287 with 4 homers will work. And he gets lineups that he faces all the time that are stacked with right-handed hitters in there.
Betts in right field, waits for it. 1 down. And a look at the Red Sox defensively in game 2. Brock Holt is in left field. Jackie Bradley Jr. in center. Mookie Betts in right. Travis Shaw, Xander Bogaerts, Josh Rutledge, Hanley Ramirez on the infield. Christian Vasquez is back of the plate.
Left-handed pitcher like Price throwing to the right-handed lineup means there's going to be action on the left side of the infield. Shaw will get plenty of ground balls, especially on off-speed pitches. Right-handed hitters get out in front of that. Shaw's been really good. He started the first game at first base. And now he's at third with good catch and throw skills.
Right over the outside edge. 1-1 to Lorenzo Cain, who had the game-winning RBI in game 1 with a sacrifice fly in the 6th. And now Cain has 6 game-winning RBIs this year. Fooled by a slider down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two and two. David Price is now 30 years old. He was the first overall pick in the 2007 draft by the Tampa Bay Rays out of Vanderbilt. Tapped out in front of the plate. Fair, out. Not often you write down 2 unassisted in the scorecard, but Vasquez tags out Cain. 2 down.
Lorenzo Cain takes a full rip, and the ball gets 2 feet in front of home plate.
And here's Eric Hosmer. He's after the first pitch and fouls it away. Hosmer has homered in each of the first 2 games of the series. Both times on off-speed pitches down, and both times using the center of the field. He had a 2-run shot in the first inning of game 1 today. Oh, and 2.
Game 1. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it was game 1. First one of the doubleheader. Right. Looked like a curve, but really, I believe it was a knuckleball. When it came down, sunk right over the second tier of the center field wall.
Laid off the slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's his chase pitch to lefties. Hosmer 2 for 11.
Fastball up. So David Price gets the Royals 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the first. Field as Travis Shaw leads off the top of the second inning. Witt was tested right away. Mookie Betts opened the game with a line drive double over his head. Xander Bogaerts followed with a walk. The Red Sox had 2 on, nobody out, and Volquez got out of it with a fly ball to deep right and then a ground ball double play from Ramirez. 1 ball and 1 strike on Travis Shaw. He was 1 for 4 in the first game of the doubleheader today, but last night gave the Royals a scare after a big lead. Shaw hit a 3-run home run in the 6th inning to make it a 1-run game, and the Royals ended up scoring late and won 8-4. Shaw, Rutledge, and Jackie Bradley Jr. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It was a big double play he induced off of Hanley Ramirez's bat. That's his 3rd ground ball double play of the season for Volquez. Big and timely. 1 pitch, 2 outs.
Salvador Perez showing the home plate umpire Pat Holberg that he came up with the ball, but Pat Holberg says that it was in the dirt first.
Change up. You see how he releases it, how he turns over. Did hit some of the ground. Good pitch. So he earned him another one.
At the knees for a strike. Oh, Volquez gets his first strikeout. The Royals have now struck out 15 Red Sox hitters so far in this series. One down. Let's go to Joel.
Well, Ryan, our Premier Mazda Game Break takes a look back at 2010 College World Series. That would be Whit Merrifield, who knocked in the winning run on a team where he was joined by Jackie Bradley Jr. of the Red Sox. Both of them, along with Sam Dyson, the Rangers reliever, celebrating as College World Series champions. And down here in the dugout by Rusty Kuntz, who's been working with Whit. And guys, talking to multiple people in the organization in the front office, and there's a common theme involving Whit Merrifield. You guys hit on it before a little bit, the flexibility and his ability to play so many different positions as that ball is up and will be caught by Omar Infante. He could play 7 positions, played shortstop and center field in college, but the common theme with everyone I talked to today is his intelligence, his makeup. Very smart, very instinctual, and what I've heard from a lot of people is that every manager that has him absolutely loves having this guy in the dugout on the field. Very, very reliable player.
There they are, Bill and Kissy Merrifield. And I think for the moment might be wishing the best to Jackie Bradley Jr. As Joel pointed out, Bradley Jr. and Whit Merrifield were on that 2010 national championship team. Lorenzo Cain has a long run, and Jackie Bradley Jr. is homer to center field, giving him a 24-game hitting streak. He got a base hit in his last at bat in the 9th inning of game 1 today to extend it to 23 games. And no drama in the nightcap as he homers in his first at bat.
Man, I'll tell you what, it looked like a changeup. And if that was a changeup, that's the first ball has been hit. It's first changeup, and since the start of last season, he was able to hit out. That's amazing that he had that kind of power to go opposite field on that pitch.
Now strike to Vasquez. Yeah, almost 1,000 changeups thrown by Edinson Volquez since the beginning of last year without allowing a home run, and that's the first one, and that ball floats right over Infante, and Vasquez is on with 2 down.
Amazing swing by Bradley. There's the changeup grip. Okay, he's going to turn it over on release, but just elevated to the point where he says, I can put a good easy swing on that and catch it just right, and it's going to leave the yard. And he did. 7th on the year for Jackie Bradley Jr. It's a pretty good run on that pitch, not getting it out. There's Chili Davis, hitting coach, standing right there on the rail. Deserves a little credit for his offense.
Outside to Brock Holt. Holt pinch hit in the 9th inning of game 1 and grounded out. He was 0 for 4 last night. And this was a player, and talking to Ned Yost, you and I were in there before the game, this game, that Whit Merrifield was compared to. Now Holt is a left-hand batter, but he said he was a Brock Holt type of a player. And Brock Holt was an all-star last year for Ned. And Brock Holt in 2014 and 2015 at the major league level played every position on the field except for pitcher and catcher. Good breaking ball, makes it 1-2. Back with a breaking ball, down and in. Volquez strikes out 2 in the inning, but with 2 down, Jackie Bradley Jr. homers to center field, and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead. Jr. extends a couple of streaks with this home run, extends his hitting streak to 24 games, the longest in the major leagues this year. It's also the 19th consecutive game that the Red Sox have hit a home run. And that ties a team record for them going back to 1996. Kendrys Morales takes inside over the corner, and it's 0-1. Our Kubota power stats. So 19 straight games with a home run, first established by the 1996 Boston Red Sox.
Got to believe Mo Vaughn hit it. Was in that.
Nomar Garcia Parra.
Yeah. 96 team.
Trot Nixon, would he have been on that team?
Possibly.
1-2 on Kendrys Morales, batting right-handed. Hitless in game 1. And 0 for 7 so far in the series.
This is his more productive side so far early. He's got more luck. Left side, he could be hitting just the same, but the shift has eaten him up. Still good power numbers.
Driven into right center field. So Morales continues to hit from the right side. And he's at second base with nobody out.
Can't catch that one. Well done. Let the ball travel deep towards the catcher's glove. Vasquez put on his A swing and hit a dart. Split the gap between the right and left and center fielders. Beautiful little toe tap there as he gets his hips loaded up. Good head position. Stayed right down through the ball. Nice stroke.
This is Salvi's first at bat of the day. Drew Butera was behind the plate in game 1, and Salvi's almost hit on the thigh.
Salvi 3 for 9 with 1 homer in his career against Price.
And that was a cross up with Vasquez. Vasquez was leaning to his right. And with all that movement, he may have cost David Price a strike. That was called ball 2.
Yeah, that was perfectly located.
High and deep into left center field. Morales will not tag as Holt brings it down, turns quickly and fires it back to the infield. And there's one away.
Just got under it a quarter of an inch. A chance to drive it out. Change up. Up. Right swing. Salvi knew he missed it.
One on, one out for Cheslor Cuthbert. Inside to Cuthbert. Royals saw David Price 4 times last year. They saw him twice in the regular season, twice in the postseason. And of all those memorable games in the 2015 road to the championship, one that will not be forgotten anytime soon. Will be the one against David Price here, when David Price took a shutout into the 7th inning, and a misplay in shallow right field resulted in a 5-run inning, and the Royals winning that game and taking a 2-0 advantage into Toronto. Caught by Holt in left field, and now 2 down with Morales at second base. Our premier Mazda game break. It seemed like a little harmless bloop into right field off the bat of Ben Zobrist, Hud.
It sure does, but you know, the crowd, they play so well here. The crowd was loud and proud, and they might have caused that drop right there. Just the noise. And then they went on and started frenzy attacking. Frenzy hit. Look at that. Love to hear the roar. It just happened. You know what? They got him.
His line was 6 innings, no earned runs when he began the 7th. His final line was 6 2/3 innings and 5 runs. The Royals went on to win that game 6-3. Strike to Omar Infante. The Royals need a hit now with 2 outs. Don't want to waste that Morales leadoff double. Pulled foul, no balls and 2 strikes on Infante. Well, it's the harsh part of this business, but I got to think Christian Colon was a bit stunned when he found out he was being sent to the minor leagues after game 1. He started at second base in the first game of the doubleheader, and we talked about him during that game and how he started 5 of 7 games on the road trip. He was taking playing time away from Omar Infante at second base.
No, it's a tough business. They got good swing there.
In the end, the Royals needed a little more speed. They needed a little more versatility. And of course, we've been going on and on about, and rightly so, about Merrifield's versatility and his ability to play the infield and the outfield. Playing very well at AAA.
And that's the way the system works. You go down there to AAA. I told you Merrifield played over 707 games. 2,728 at bats, and he can do it all. He's a little bit more valuable at this particular time for Ned. And it coincides with Alex Gordon. They knew Price was pitching in game 2 of this, and they already started thinking days ago, well, we got to give Alex a day off. Who's it going to be? And the way Dayton Moore runs his ship here, which is really a well-run ship, is that he asks all of his people in the minor league system, who should we promote? He doesn't just stand up and go, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this move. You know, it's not an ego thing. Dayton's all about the system, using his employees to empower them to make decisions for the team, for the good of the team. And there's good players down there. This kid Merrifield, he's ready. We'll see what he can do, but I like what I'm seeing right now in Infante. Infante's battling Price. Got 2 strikes on him here. He's got a good AB going. I'd like to see if they could pick up Morales. Morales is going to have to place that ball well in the outfield to score him, though. Got some good arms out there.
Infante is down on strikes, and Price works around the Morales leadoff double. It's been a long day, but we're just getting started here in the second game of the doubleheader. He has hit safely in 9 of his 11 starts, filling in for Mike Moustakas at third base, and Mike Moustakas is on the road back. Mookie Betts deep to left field, Merrifield to the wall, and the Red Sox have hit 2 home runs. Jackie Bradley Jr. in the second, and now Mookie Betts leading off the third.
Betts just unloaded. Says, I'm going to guess first pitch fastball, and I'm going to Tommy Hawk him. Oh, man, that's really a good handsy type swing. I could tell on contact he's able to use that top hand on the high fastball to get some backspin on it. That ball was out of here in a heartbeat.
Breaking ball outside to Bogaerts. Bogaerts walked his first time up to put runners at first and second and nobody out in the first inning. Volquez got out of that, and now he's allowed solo home runs in each of the last 2 innings. That pitch is just a little bit outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Royals did what they wanted to, and in surprise of many, taking the first 2 games in the series. They've got the series, playing on house money, but still want to step on their neck.
Sharply hit, and Fonte was in the right place at the right time. And there is 1 down. So back to Mike Moustakas, the subject of our University of Kansas hospital injury report. Mike Moustakas played today at AA Northwest Arkansas. He was the designated hitter his first rehab game and was 2 for 4 with an RBI single.
Nice to get him back in there.
Cheslor Cuthbert has filled in well at third base. The Royals haven't lost anything defensively with Cuthbert at third. They are missing Moustakas and his 7 home runs. And Dayton Moore and Ned Yost have brought up that the Royals are missing Moustakas' edge, a bit of his fire. And that's a big part of their team personality.
And that was quite a compliment you just gave Cheslor Cuthbert. You said they haven't lost anything on defense. Moose is playing the best defense he's played that I've seen. And that's quite a compliment to that young man right there. And he has played spectacular defense.
David Ortiz lined to the warning track in right field in the first inning. Before the game last night, David Ortiz was honored by the Royals and Edinson Volquez before the first pitch. Both are from the same area in the Dominican Republic, so they go way, way back. Out to Kane in center field. Lorenzo is right there, and there are 2 down. So if the 2 teams do not meet in the postseason, this is it for David Ortiz, and he's been coming here for a long time, going back to the beginning of his major league career. He got some Kansas City barbecue sauce. He got the folding chair from the 2012 All-Star game in front of his locker.
Cool, that's neat keepsake there. I know, and it's all about the, what they give you. It's not the value of monetary value. It's all about the memories. And these teams can, when he comes to visit for the last time, can give him, and he'll have a nice collection in his palace, wherever that may be.
Hanley Ramirez grounds it right to Escobar. And that's the inning. So Mookie Betts Homers to left field. The Red Sox lead 2-0. Whit Merrifield will bat second in the bottom of the third. Tonight's game is Dr. Ann Cobberman, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Ann is a breast cancer surgeon at Overland Park Regional Medical Center and other hospitals around Kansas City. She attended medical school at UMKC, and after a fellowship in Texas, returned to the Kansas City area. Dr. Cobberman and her fellow medical professionals have worked closely over the years with the American Cancer Society, and in particular the Sarah Cannon Cancer Center at Research Medical Center, one of the area's leading fundraisers for the Cancer Society's Making Strides Against Breast Cancer program.
Thank you, Ann. Hopefully they find a cure for that soon.
Want to know to Paulo Orlando. Paulo Orlando drives it into right field, so he continues his hot hitting. Leadoff man on, and now Whit Merrifield makes his big league debut as a hitter. So here he is, drafted by the Royals in the 9th round of 2010 out of the University of South Carolina. Dad Bill, Mom Kissy. I mean, this should be nothing for them. They watched him win the 2010 College World Series. No balls and 1 strike. You know, I get a kick out of parents in the big league debut all their lives, going back to Little League, coming out with the video cameras and taping the kids so that they can take it back home and watch it. Bill has been coaching Whit since he was 2 years old, so this is routine that goes back to T-ball. No balls and 2 strikes, but it continues into the Pony League, high school, maybe into college, into the minor leagues. Now we could give Bill high definition from 7 different angles of Whit's first major league at bat, but for him and the tradition, he wants to capture it for himself on his phone. Some things never change. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The thing that's impressive about Whit is in his hitting ability. He's calm, he's quiet. His dad, Bill, is the best hitting coach he's ever had.
You can see his mom rubbing the palms of her hands on the top of her pants. The palms are sweaty already as Whit hits it into the new netting above the Royals first base dugout.
He's not going easy. Look at that. Fight off the borderline, get you the cookie. First major league at bat, go ahead.
Almost got nailed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Merrifield spent 2010 at Rookie League Burlington, 2011 at Wilmington, 2012 at Wilmington in Northwest Arkansas, 2013 in Northwest Arkansas, 2014 Northwest Arkansas and Omaha, all of last year at Omaha, where he was the organization's top hitter. He won the George Brett Award, started this year at Omaha, and in the big leagues
Take him
on
deep.
May the 19th of 2016.
Take him deep. Oh well.
He made contact.
Yeah, good at bat. He battled. This kid's going to be a good player. I'm telling you. They made the right move. Way to go, Mom. Exhale. He's got a few more at bats left.
Now Alcides Escobar, he flied out to right field in the first inning. Oh, 0-1.
Merrifield and company, they're going to get another shot at Price. First and second time through the order, you got to get this guy before he settles in. Look at the third and fourth time. Not a whole lot of action happening.
Now, we showed you what the Royals did to him in the ALCS, which is the opposite of those numbers. But remember, the difference was it was a late afternoon game. The shadows were extreme. So Price may have had a little false sense of security because he was dominating the Royals. They just couldn't see the ball. When the shadows went away in the 7th inning and they could see him is when they started to hit him.
Oh man, and didn't they though? A little bit of sunlight coming through the K there. Beautiful shot.
One and 2 on Escobar.
You know, you talked to Ned Yost about how he chooses starting pitchers to pitch in a doubleheader, which game he chooses. Well, he lets them choose, the players. So Ian Kennedy and Volquez worked it out. Kennedy likes day games. Volquez wanted to pitch tonight. Well, John Farrell does the same thing. Price was scheduled to start in the first game, but he talked to the knuckleballer and he says, hey, it doesn't matter. My knuckleball is going to work no matter when I pitch. I'll be happy to yield to the veteran.
Price has a few more zeros attached to his contract, so I would think even on a team of 25 players, I'm going to guess that David Price had first pick. What do you think?
I would say it's the same thing.
Escobar swings and misses. Kane is back in time. In the second inning, the Royals got a leadoff double. Excuse me, Orlando is back in time. In the second inning, the Royals got a leadoff double from Morales. He never got to third. And now in this inning, the leadoff base hit from Paulo Orlando. And he's still standing there with 2 down. And now Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo hit a tap in front of the plate first time up and figured with the spin that it would kick foul, and it stayed right out in front of home plate. Vasquez, the catcher, picked it up and just tagged him out. That's back and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Lorenzo is our most trusted player, brought to you by Honda. His career numbers against David Price: 4 hits, 1 of those a home run, and a .333 batting average in 12 at bats. Rutledge, Fields, throws, inning over. So again, leadoff man on, but no advance. And at the end of 3, Price and the Red Sox lead 2-0. Who would have thought that all of those names put together spell Royals? Even Montgomer.
That's very creative.
That's a is that a I think is that a mountain in West Virginia?
Mount Gomer?
Yeah,
I think so.
Well, we thank you for taking the time to make that sign. There he is. Royals Hall of Famer, 304 saves, Jeff Montgomer. By the way, Monty.
Way to go, Monty.
Travis Shaw, Josh Rutledge, and Jackie Bradley Jr. against Volquez here in the 4th inning. Good pitch, had him reaching. Hosmer will take it to the bag himself, and Shaw is 0 for 2. Let's find Joel Goldberg.
Well, Ryan, we are with Kissy and Bill Merrifield, and some nerves, more excitement, very proud. Okay, Bill, tell me, you found out the news very late last night, and it's been a whirlwind, right?
It really has. We haven't slept really since 11:30 last night. Whit was on the West Coast, and when he found out, he called us, and we tried to make travel plans to be here. We did everything we could to get here. We got the family here. We couldn't be more proud of him. We were going to go wherever he was, whenever this day happened. We were going to be there.
And we were just watching the at-bat, and so, Bill, we see you videotaping it all. And Kissy, you look like the most proud and nervous mother in the world, exhaling after every pitch. How surreal is this? What is it like to see your son on a big league field?
So surreal. He has worked so hard, and we're just so proud. We knew this day would come, but it's been a while. So we're just so happy we can be here to watch him.
We're looking at, I think, some pictures from the College World Series, which may seem like yesterday or maybe many years ago. And here we see Jackie Bradley Jr. homer tonight, too. What is that like to see your son and his college teammate both here on the same diamond?
Oh, it's so much fun. You know, when we found out he was coming up and Jackie was going to be here, and he's hot right now. And, you know, Jackie's such a great player. He's been a great player since he stepped on South Carolina's campus. And Whit and he are such good friends that, you know, I think it's perfect that Whit flew out to him the first at bat. You know, everything seems to happen for a reason, and all of this is happening. Whit's never lost faith that this was going to be, you know, a day that happened in his life, and we're just happy we could support him.
Kissy, I'm wondering too, as you saw some of what was going on at spring training. I mean, we watched him during spring training. He might have been the best player in all of camp too. How encouraged were you watching that and knowing that this was getting closer?
Very encouraged. My daughter Costner and I went out towards the end, and he did so good, and he was pumped up, and we were hoping. We were hoping, but we knew it would happen, whether it did then or later.
We were doing one of his games, and I think I talked about 6 positions, and he corrected me and made sure 7, not 6. Was he always this way? I know you coached him, Bill. Was he a guy that could play every single position? Because that's so unique.
He could. You know, as a shortstop, most of the best players growing up are shortstops, but he prided himself on being able to go out in the outfield and shag fly balls, or go to first base and pick balls. And you know, he was just that kid. He wanted to be on the field no matter what it took. And you know, so he's really worked at it. And then when he saw an opportunity here to make the big leagues, to be versatile, you know, that's what he did, and that's what he sunk his teeth into. And you know, he's made himself a big league player, you know, by putting 20 pounds on last offseason. It was the most amazing thing that we had ever seen, and our food bill proves it.
Very high.
Yeah, that's supposed to.
No junk food, all healthy.
No, that's good to see. And you know, when you look at him too, what I hear from so many people within the organization is the great makeup, and that every manager loves having him. So I know that would make any parent proud. But also the athleticism, and our guys up at the booth were talking about it. You played college baseball, minor league ball, you played college tennis. So who gets the credit for the athleticism, mom or dad?
I get the credit for the speed. He gets the credit for the power.
He is, you know, he will tell you, if you ask him straight up who's the best athlete in the family, it's Kissy, obviously, and that's okay. You know, we joke about it a lot, and you know, I got to say at this point, he's got to be the best athlete in our family. You know, he has made himself there. He's made himself that kid, and you know, we're so proud of him that, you know, we can't say enough good things about him because of his makeup. You know, he started out in A-ball as he won the Community Service Award in the Carolina League, and those are the kind of things that people don't realize, that it takes time off the field to be able to get to this level. You know, you got to create the whole person, and his whole person is off the charts. I mean, he's just such a great kid.
Congratulations, Bill and Kissy and all the family, to you guys that are all here. And if we think that everybody's tired with a doubleheader, I know you guys are much more tired, and same for Whit, but a day I'm sure that you will never forget. You have a big league son. Congratulations, and thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you very much.
Joel, thank you. Well, for the moment, it's a strikeout, throw-out, double play. But Josh Rutledge motioned to the Red Sox dugout and believed that he was safe, and John Farrell is going to see what his video guy says about that. Question is, did he get the tag on the lead foot, or was it on the back knee?
Back knee looked like to me. I don't know. They might review this one.
Well, now what they have to do here is the umpiring crew in New York, and they will challenge the umpiring crew in New York, since the call was out. They have to prove that Alcides Escobar did not make contact with Rutledge's front foot.
You know, he did everything right. He put that ball right where he wants to put it. Escobar, with the tag, looked like it was a tick late.
Now right here, you can't tell. You can't tell if there was contact or not. So it's easy to watch this and assume that he missed the front foot. Remember, it has to be clear and convincing evidence to suggest otherwise. Second base umpire Bill Miller called him out. And then the second part of that is, when he did make contact with the back knee, where was the front foot at that point? So let's play replay official here, Hud. We're in New York and we're watching this replay here. Okay, can you prove here, Hud, that he did not make contact with the front foot? Well, they could, as the call is overruled. So it's a strikeout and a stolen base, and Rutledge is at second base with 2 down.
Didn't keep the fans here at the K from chanting Salvi's name. Doesn't do a whole lot for his throwing out percentage. He's still throwing out over 50% of runners.
So it's Vasquez who singled his first time up, batting with Rutledge at second base, 2 down. Changeup tailing in on Vasquez for strike 1. Rutledge reached with a 1-out single to center field. Red Sox have 5 hits already. And now Volquez is ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. 5 hits for the Red Sox and 3 extra base hits. Betts doubled in the first. Bradley Jr. homered in the second, and then Betts homered in the third. Got him. So the stolen base, all it does is add 3 more pitches to Volquez's pitch count. And Eddie has a scoreless top of the 4th inning. Middle of the order coming up. Hosmer, Morales, and Perez in the bottom of the 4th. To center field. It is gone. Eric Hosmer. And it's Eric Hosmer leading off the bottom of the 4th inning. And don't forget, Royals fans, time to vote for your All-Stars. You can vote up to 35 times for the Royals online, including a maximum of 5 ballots cast in any 24-hour period. Now, Eric did not go last year with all of the Royals at the All-Star game in Cincinnati. Eric was certainly All-Star potential. He had All-Star consideration. I think he's in good shape so far to make the All-Star team this year. So let's send Eric to San Diego. July 12th, live on Fox.
How about it? Price struck him out first time he faced him tonight, coming inside, trying to tie him up. I don't blame him. Anything out over the plate, dangerous to this guy.
Two and one.
Good swing there, tried to pull him. Nice play by the youngster.
Bring your glove.
Yeah, look at how excited he is.
He's got his, speaking of the All-Star game, he's got his All-Star game Lorenzo Cain t-shirt.
Yeah, he's ready.
Grounded to Ramirez, who makes a good play on a short hop. Hosmer is 0 for 2. Vote for the Royals Player of the Month at one of the 7 Rally House locations in the Kansas City metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack. Last year it was Paulo Orlando making his big league debut. Tonight, Whit Merrifield. I think I've asked you this before, and it's always a fun question to ask somebody like Whit about his big league debut, and then maybe after his first week or two in the big leagues. But Hud, who was the first player? Good changeup, 0-2. Who was the first player that you remember saying to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm on the same field as?
Robin Yount.
So you're a Robin Yount fan growing up?
Yount and Paul Molitor. And what blew me away was running on the field and they're coming off the field. Molitor knew my name and I almost wilted.
Well, you know, they teach manners like that at the college that he went to.
That's right.
That's
my bad.
Yeah, that should come as no surprise to you. Consider his background. 3 strikeouts for David Price. Make that 4 strikeouts for David Price.
I mean, I'm a nobody. He knew my first name.
Two down to Salvador Perez. That's well hit to center field. Back goes Jackie Bradley Jr. Home run, Salvador Perez.
Salvi's first at bat, he almost missed the changeup. He almost hit that out. He connects there. 5th home run now given up by Price and all to right-handers. Oh, right there in the middle, and Price knew it as soon as Salvi did. Short, compact. Got a guy throws that hard. All you got to do is put a good easy swing on it. Salvi got the back underside. And he comes out with his 6th homer.
A little bit high with a breaking ball. You talk about all the Boston Red Sox power. Royals have hit 4 home runs in this series. And the Red Sox have hit 4 home runs in this series. So they've matched Boston with the long ball, and the Red Sox lead the major leagues in home runs. Chesler fly to left field in the 2nd inning. That's hit hard and just foul. And you can't get any closer to that ball than the 3rd base umpire Clint Fagan. Now the Royals are going to look at this. This is reviewable. By the rule, any ball that's hit at or past the base umpire is reviewable. Anything in front of him is not. And Bill Duplessis tells Don Wakamatsu that he agrees with third base umpire Clint Fagan.
Just a slight top hand dominant.
Back with a pop up. Tough time of night to pick the ball out of the sky, but Betts is there for the out. Royals are on the board. Salvador Perez with 2 down takes David Price deep to center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. and Mookie Betts for Boston, and Salvador Perez for the Royals. So a 2-1 game. Royals pitching has kept Boston hitters under control so far in this series, keeping the Red Sox to 4 runs in game 1, 2 in the first game of the doubleheader today. It's just the 7th time all year out of 40 games that the Red Sox have been held to 2 or fewer runs. And they've only scored 2 so far tonight as Holt bounces it out to Infante, and 1 away to begin the 5th inning. And that'll bring up Mookie Betts. He was 1 for 8 in the first 2 games of the series, but so far tonight he has a double and a home run. And right now his home run is the difference in the game. Slider is outside for ball 1.
Home run he hit, top hand, man. He just really stayed on top. You see how he kept his hands in close, but the top hand got on top. Got the backspin needed. Get it out of this place. Hard to hit a topspin ball over the fence here.
Told this story before. Mookie's mom, Diana, was a college softball player, and she dreamed of her son making it to the big league. So Mookie's name is Marcus Lynn Betts, and if you put those initials together, that's MLB, and that is not an accident. And here he is playing well in the MLB, and on for the 3rd time tonight.
She had no visions of this young man being a pro bowler.
He could be. He's a good one.
Right.
So is Jackie Bradley Jr. Remember the old show Battle of the Stars during the offseason?
Yeah,
and you'd
sure.
have the Royals go up against the Cowboys in Hawaii, and they'd have a tug of war and all these
Sure.
agility things.
And Howard Cosell commentated.
Well, if they did that show again and included bowling, you'd have your hands full going up against the Red Sox. I think Betts at one time was the best youth bowler in the entire state of Tennessee. And I think I read somewhere that Jackie Bradley Jr. has a 300 game to his resume.
Tough sport.
Bogarts has walked and grounded out to second base. Now Salvi wants to go through the signs again. Broken bat. Out at second. Going to have to hurry. In the dirt. Hosmer digs it out. And Volquez has 2 ground ball double plays tonight.
Nicely done again. 5-4-3 on the first time, and now it's 6-4-3. And Fonte with a good release. Good, quick, great dig. David Price has allowed 1 run, 3 hits in his 4 innings with 4 strikeouts. He'll get Infante, Orlando, and Merrifield in the bottom of the 5th inning. Breaking ball for a strike. Infante struck out swinging at a high fastball in the 2nd inning. Changeup. 0-2. Infante lays off the pitch in the dirt. Left center field, and Holt comes up to make the play. 1 down.
T-Mobile, our greater coverage of baseball. David Price's former teammate Justin Verlander, in a win against Minnesota earlier today, surpassed 2,000 career strikeouts. The 76th pitcher all time to hit that milestone, and just the second in Tigers history, joining Mickey Lolich. Oh, and 1 on Paulo Orlando. He singled to right field in the 3rd inning. I think the book is still out on Justin Verlander. Last year he struggled early, but by the end of the year the Tigers were confident that he had gotten back what maybe he had lost the season and a half before that, but he's been still up and down this year.
Well, you know, he went through a little period of time where he lost that 98, 99 mile an hour fastball he had, and so he adjusted to learning how to pitch, you know, how to hit his spots. Still plenty of velocity left at 93, 94 at times to get the job done.
Ian Kennedy has proven that. He was able to pull the bat back. Todd Tishner says that there was no swing by Paulo Orlando. Todd Tishner grew up in Garden City, Kansas, now lives in Holcomb, Kansas. Always good to see him back here in Kansas City. He grew up a Royals fan.
I can see Paulo swing that bat. He's been swinging a good one.
Two balls and 2 strikes. With the victory today, Justin Verlander is 3-4 with a 4.58 earned run average. So that's basically a quality start ERA.
Aggressive inside is Price with his cutter.
Tried to get some late movement on that cutter. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's our Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. Still 3-2. Paulo fighting off a changeup. Well, last night in game 1 of the series, Paulo Orlando had the biggest game in the Royals' 8-4 victory. 2-run home run. He drove in 4. And you could make a case that Gerard Dyson in right field had the biggest game offensively for the Royals earlier today. Inside, Vasquez held it out there, tried to pull it back into the strike zone, but Pat Hobert didn't change his call, and Paulo is on with 1 out.
Paulo will take it. First walk of the season for him. Good at bat, or good plate appearance, I should say.
And the first walk given up by David Price. So Whit Merrifield's second major league at bat. He flied out to his former college teammate Jackie Bradley Jr. in center field in the 3rd inning. Ground ball, base hit left field. And Whit Merrifield, with mom and dad watching and cheering, has his first major league hit. And his first major league standing ovation.
Yeah. Well, it's not the homer that I was hoping for, but he'll take the knock. And his teammates always happy. How about that? Waiting on that first pitch. Price gave him a cookie. He'll never forget this.
And against David Price, who's won a Cy Young Award and last year finished 2nd in the American League Cy Young, Chesler Cuthbert reminding the Red Sox that is a very important baseball. Please return it to the first base dugout.
That's a long way to go, young man. Mom and Dad, congratulations.
Oh, 0-1 on Alcides Escobar. He is 0 for 2 so far against David Price.
Yeah, it was a good at bat. Hope you get 2,999 more.
That one caught the corner, and it's 0-2 on Escobar. Rusty Kuntz is such a good coach, great base running coach, a great outfield coach, but I'll bet this is one of the favorite parts of his job. How many times has he gotten to say congratulations? Because I would imagine, I don't know the number, but what, 60-70% of first big league hits are singles. Yep. So many times he's had a chance to say congratulations, be the first guy to congratulate a player after he gets his first big league hit.
No question about it.
And then Rusty has the job of saying, okay, get your eyes out of the stars. Now we got to focus on the pitcher and focus on base running. Ground ball to Bogarts, out at second base. No double play. First and third, 2 down.
Bogarts gets it over to Rutledge. Rutledge, good turn. Quick hands. And Esky beats it, giving Lorenzo Cain a chance to tie it up or better it if he can find a gap.
Lorenzo has done well in his career against Price so far tonight. He is tapped out to the catcher, you don't say that very often, and grounded out to second base.
That little tap out was a little squibber that squibbed 2 feet from the plate.
One ball and no strikes. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Changeup and a good one. 1-1 to Cain.
Right where you want to put it.
Price doesn't throw as hard as he once did, and he got to the big leagues in a hurry. Drafted in 07, and the Rays used him in the postseason in 08, and he could just blow hitters away with his fastball, but he is really mixing it up against the Royals so far tonight. Didn't hit his spot, but he still got it in the strike zone. And ahead of Lorenzo, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And after throwing cutters into righties, and he puts that changeup on the outer half like that, really does set up everything else. Good location.
His fastball is averaging about 92 miles an hour, which is the lowest in his career. But tonight he's thrown a good cutter, he's thrown a good breaking ball, he's thrown some really good changeups. So you really can't just sit on one pitch. The rally jumping jacks. Mom says you can do that all night if you want to.
That's right.
Escobar runs, and Kane fouls it away.
No more
Keep
cotton,
going.
no more cotton candy for him, though.
And Mom's going to say, "No, just hang on a second. Get out of the way. We got some people coming down." And as soon as they go, start up again. Come on, big guy. Get those rally jumping jacks going. 1-2 on Kane. Orlando is at third. Escobar is at first. Escobar ran on the last pitch. Not running, and Kane grounds it out to third. And Shaw throws a strike to Ramirez, and that's the inning. So the Royals strand 2. Whit Merrifield gets his first big league hit against David Price. Well struck.
Joel Goldberg back at Kauffman Stadium, where Whit Merrifield now has his first major league hit. You can bet his parents, his family, thrilled over that. His parents are here, who we visited with before, his brother, his sister, his fiance. There'll be more joining him in Chicago. And guys, talking to his dad, Bill, after we were done with the interview, and he was actually college teammates with Tommy Gregg, the AAA hitting coach for the Omaha Storm Chasers. They were college teammates at Wake Forest. And then how about this story? During spring training one game against the Cubs, Ryan, you might have been doing this game perhaps on radio, Whit Merrifield goes in to replace Eric Hosmer at first base. Joe Madden sends out the first base coach for the Cubs and wants to do a little investigative reporting to find out who Whit's father was. He got the answer he was looking for. It indeed is Bill Merrifield. Bill played for Joe Madden. Madden was his single-A and double-A manager in the Angels organization, and Bill Merrifield hit 29 home runs in single-A Peoria for Joe Madden. Now he's watching his son in the big leagues.
Well, that answers your question to Mom and Dad. Where does Whit get his athleticism from? Kissy said he gets his speed from me, but he gets his power from his dad. 29 home runs, man. I don't care what level that is. Ortiz grounds out to Hosmer. One away.
That's an interesting story. I like it. Way to go, Joel.
They changed out the bases in between innings, and then that one in particular at first base was taken away. So maybe to Whit Merrifield's collection of major league firsts.
I sure hope they give it to him. Be a great keepsake.
Hanley Ramirez grounded into a double play in the first inning and grounded to short in the third. Red Sox say Hanley Ramirez has been rejuvenated by the move to first base. Longtime major league shortstop, mostly with the Marlins, sometime with the Dodgers. But coming to Boston as a free agent, they already had Xander Bogaerts at shortstop. So they asked Hanley Ramirez to play left field, where he's never played before. And either on the record or off the record, people connected with the Red Sox will tell you that he didn't like it. He didn't really work at it. But moving him back to the infield at first base, and the Red Sox asked him to drop about 15 to 20 pounds during the offseason. He likes the position. He has played it well. And back to playing with the energy that he played with as a young player with the Marlins.
No, and that'll do it. Especially, you know, when your boss says, hey, you need to shed some weight, get into shape, and oh, by the way, get a new first baseman's glove. That's where you're going to play, and it got him excited. Yeah, the other day, there he was. Check this guy out.
Jackie Bradley Jr. was on the MLB Network.
And this was like the day after the fight. So he's photobombing him. Yeah, that's beautiful. How'd he go?
Two balls and two strikes. You know, Hanley Ramirez is from the Red Sox organization. That was his original organization, and then he and Anibal Sanchez, another guy that you don't think of being from the Red Sox, they were traded to the Marlins for Josh Beckett and Mike Lowell, who helped the Red Sox win a World Series. So his career has gone full circle. He was the Rookie of the Year for the Marlins in 2006. He had a 30-30 season in 2008 and finished second in MVP and won a batting title in 2009.
He's had a nice career. 10+ years coming in to this season. 32.
Struck him out. So 2 down. Kia puts us in the driver's seat. And for Edinson Volquez, something happened to him when he turned 30. 2011 through 2013. Record was under 500 with an ERA over 5. He turned 30 in 2014. So that year with the Pirates and the last 2 with the Royals, 11 games above 500 and an ERA in the 3s.
He's found it.
He's worked with 2 of the best pitching coaches in the game in his last 2 organizations. Ray Searage with the Pirates and now Dave Island with the Royals. And he's older and wiser.
Yeah, he's no longer trying to blow it by people. He's using that great defense when he came here. I remember his first start. They made a couple of great plays for him, and he was like, wow, all right. Time to get a world championship.
3 balls and no strikes on Travis Shaw.
You know, Brian Butterfield, the third base coach for the Red Sox, has been with them for several years. Played a little prank on Shaw. Butter's a big Michigan Wolverine fan. Shaw, his whole family's from Ohio. Loves the Buckeyes. So a big rivalry there. Butter puts a Wolverine sticker inside the helmet of Shaw. Wondered if you noticed. Shaw didn't notice, played the game, started raking, saw the Wolverine in his helmet and goes, oh, hey, you know what? I'm going to leave it in there. And he's been wearing it ever since. He's been hot, so he hadn't taken the Wolverine out of there.
And who says baseball players aren't superstitious?
Yeah.
It's a great story. You know, you brought something up as we see Shaw. He's talking to Ruben Amaro Jr., who was the first base coach of the Red Sox. And for 7 years, he was the Phillies general manager. He was their general manager when the Phillies won the World Series in 2009. He also had a good big league career. He played parts of 8 seasons with the Angels and the Phillies. He's got to be the happiest guy in the major leagues. The general manager position is a tough one. It's time demanding. You are on the hot seat, it seems like, all the time. Questions being second guessed, especially in a place like Philadelphia. And they went from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the valley. And now back in uniform again, first base coach. I'll bet he hardly gets any interview requests.
And you know, I did ask him, how do you like it? He said, I love it. Big smile on his face. We were teammates in Philly for Terry Francona and Terry's first couple years as a manager back in '97 and '98. Had a lot of fun with him. Good character guy. Had no idea he's going to become a general manager. And you're right. He's back out there on the field where he belongs. And well, I don't know if he belongs there. I mean, he's had a great run as a GM.
I mean, think about it. How many general managers and successful general managers, long-time general managers, 7 years is a long time. When they are done with that job, they go back on the field at the major league level. I can't think of any others.
Yeah, during his tenure, his club won 3 consecutive National League East Division titles.
Some will go back and be manager. Jack McKeon, Bobby Cox are a couple of examples. But back to being a first base coach, and you have to wonder, all those years in Philadelphia when they fell from being the elite team in the National League to the bottom, if he just didn't dream about just putting a uniform on again and just blending in with a big roster of players and coaches. Hit deep to left field. Merrifield is back, and he'll play it off the wall. And holding at third is Shaw. So Merrifield makes his first good defensive play. Played that ball quickly off the wall, and Shaw was forced to hold at third. Rusty Kuntz appreciates that.
On contact, I could tell that ball was hit hard and was wondering if it would stay in the yard, and it did. But it hit the top of the wall. Merrifield could see it. Now he's going to position himself into a really good position. Just get rid of it. Escobar, one hopper, that's fine. Brian Butterfield, third base coach, respects the throwing ability of Escobar and Merrifield. Nice job.
Dave Island is out for a quick visit with Edinson Volquez and Salvador Perez. So second and third. Shaw at third. Rutledge is at second. And the visit included the decision to intentionally walk Jackie Bradley Jr., who is homered and only has a 24-game hitting streak.
Yep, good decision. It's a no-brainer. First base open.
And he's only hitting .441 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
So they're loaded up. 2 walks and a double. All of it coming with 2 outs. And Volquez will pitch to Christian Vasquez. Vasquez singled to the opposite field against Volquez in the second inning, and then Eddie struck him out in the fourth. Slider down and away, ball one. Peter Moylan warms up in the Royals bullpen. Ooh, just missed.
Well, perfect spot. That's exactly where he wants to put it.
Ground ball up the middle, and that'll score 2. So the Royals walk Bradley to get to Vasquez, and Vasquez comes through. He didn't hit it very hard, but he hit it in the right spot, and the Red Sox take a 4-1 lead.
Well, that's how you answer if somebody's walked ahead of you. But looked to me like Infante could have maybe dove for that, maybe knocked it down, might have saved a run. It's close to it. Wouldn't hit all that hard.
Good point. And now Brock Holt. So the Red Sox get 4 consecutive runners after 2 outs and nobody on. And now it's Bradley at third, Vasquez at first. And I think no matter what happens, this is Volquez's last hitter. Waiting on deck is Mookie Betts, and Volquez has not gotten Betts out once in 3 tries. He has struck out Holt and gotten him to ground out to second base. So if Betts comes up in this inning, it is a good bet. He'll see Moylan.
Done a great job pitching to Holt. I don't believe Holt's gotten a hit in the series.
Hosmer could not have made that play without his foot being on the bag. So the Red Sox get 2 with 2 outs, and the Royals are coming up in the bottom of the 6th, down by 3. Last year, Hud, we did the game out in Craft and Draft, and she was out there with her dad and sat with us for a few innings.
Yeah, she did.
Thank you, Lily.
Good to see you.
Sweet, sweet little girl. All right, Royals down by 3. David Price pitching in the bottom of the 6th inning. Off speed for a strike to Eric Hosmer. Our Sonic Slam inning contestant is Doug Arth from Kearney, Missouri. Hosmer is 0 for 2 so far against Price. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hosmer, Morales, and Perez against Price, who's allowed just 1 run, 4 hits in his first 5 innings. The 1 run was a Salvador Perez home run in the 4th inning, which made the score 2-1. Red Sox just got 2 in the top of the 6th. And now Price jumps ahead of Hosmer. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Price used that changeup to both sides, left-handers and right-handers. He just got one there. Haas pulled off it.
Little bit low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So if the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Doug Arth from Kearney will win $2,200. If the Royals hit a grand slam, Doug wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. Hosmer has homered in the first 2 games of this series and grounds it out to Rutledge at second base. 1 down. And now Kendrys Morales from his stronger side of the plate so far this year. He's 1 for 2. He had a leadoff double in the 2nd inning, and then Price really buckled down, and Morales never got to 3rd in that inning. Big swing, and he hit it down by his feet. No balls, 1 strike. Didn't mean to do it. I think it was a called strike anyway, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, good cutter. It's a very effective pitch for Price. Sets up the fastball, changeup, 4-seamer. Haven't seen a lot of curveballs from him.
We pointed this out last year watching Price pitch for the Tigers and then on to the Blue Jays, but he essentially pitches out of the stretch all the time. There's a little bit of movement, extra movement with nobody on base, but he is essentially standing in that position. So the adjustment when he does go to the so-called stretch with a man on is minimal.
Very minimal, and he's quick home and has a step-off move, so you know a lot of runners going to go on him.
Broken bat. Shaw at 3rd. Over to Ramirez, 2 down. And now Salvador Perez. He got the Royals on the board in the 4th inning, and Yellowwood is bringing the lumber.
Yeah, he did. Fastball there. 6th home run of the year. Salvi didn't miss it. Beautiful swing. Ball met perfectly.
Breaking ball stayed outside. Salvi jumped on a high changeup in the 2nd inning and nearly homered. He typically does well against David Price. And he got underneath that pitch. Long run in for Jackie Bradley Jr., but he's there. And that's the inning. So the Royals go quietly. And at the end of 6, Boston leads 4-1. Has his first big league hit. That was in the 5th inning against David Price. There's Alec Mills. He is the 26th man. A recent major league rule in a doubleheader. Teams can add a man to the roster. So Alec Mills has been called up. He has not appeared yet and most likely will be sent back down after the game tonight. Our sprint trivia question: name the players the last time multiple Royals made their debut in the same game. How about a year? Very recently is the answer. Fairly recently. That's great.
How about, you brought up his name the other day, Irving Falou.
I'm thinking opening day against the Angels. That may have preceded you, Hud. Do you remember opening at home against the Angels?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe not. Maybe you were here. So let's see. Your first year, the Royals
12.
opened in Anaheim, correct?
They did.
So I think maybe it was 2013. How about Tim Collins and Nate Adcock?
Wow, a couple pitchers. I'm thinking more position players. That'd be a pitcher and a position player.
Moylan takes care of Mookie Betts. So Betts got on 3 times against Volquez. So he's out for the first time and 1 down in the top of the 7th inning. All right, as the Thunder continue their run through the NBA playoffs, we want to remind you that the Royals are hosting an Oklahoma City Thunder night on Saturday, July 23rd against the Rangers. If you're a fan of the Royals and Thunder, come out to Kauffman Stadium. Visit Royals.com/theme tickets to purchase a game ticket and receive this Royals themed Thunder cap. Base hit left field for Xander Bogaerts. So Bogaerts sends his hitting streak to 13 games. 1 on 1 out for the Red Sox in the 7th inning. And now with left-hand hitting David Ortiz coming up. Ned Yost points to the bullpen. He has Scott Alexander warming up out there. Alexander and Moylan were called up together when Chris Young and Chris Medlin went on the disabled list, and now they pitch back-to-back Chevy called to the bullpen. 1 on, 1 out. 4-1 Boston in the 7th inning. Royals baseball is brought to you by your local Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Visit for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. By Panera Bread, food as it should be with 24 Kansas City metro locations. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. Scott Alexander. He left his mark in the game on Sunday, the 13-inning victory over the Braves. Now comes on to face David Ortiz. Ortiz fouls the first pitch away.
Alexander, good sinking fastball, sweeping slider, keeps the ball down. Like what we've seen so far out of this young man, especially Ned Yost. People who count, it matters. They can bring him in anytime. Comes right at guys.
And adding to how impressive that game was, the game before he threw 29 pitches and going more than 1 inning for Ned Yost out of the bullpen. David Ortiz. I wonder if someone has asked him about his favorite memories playing here at Kauffman Stadium. You know, he played here for the first time in 1997. I remember a game. He was playing for Minnesota, and in the 2nd inning he slid in at home plate, kind of a on the side, half head first.
Yep.
And he landed heavy on his hand. Down he goes. He landed heavy on his right hand. He stayed in the game. And in the 5th inning, he hit a home run. After the game, it was still bothering him, so he went in and got an X-ray and found out he had broken his right wrist on the slide, and then hit a home run in the 5th inning.
Wow.
That was 15 years ago. I'm looking at the date, 2001.
Wow. Impressive.
Alexander, impressive, strikes him out and now gets Hanley Ramirez. On the ground left side, that's a base hit for Ramirez. Bogart stops at second base. That's Ramirez's first hit tonight. He's 1 for 4. And there are 2 on for Travis Shaw. Great day to spend your Memorial Day holiday is here at Kauffman Stadium. We're going to honor the military with the Royals Armed Forces Night presented by Budweiser. Specifically, that's May 30th. Against Tampa Bay. So arrive early for a special pregame ceremony as we salute and remember those men and women who have served our country. Get those tickets right now at Royals.com/tickets or at 1-800-6-ROYALS. Alexander gets another left-hand batter in Travis Shaw. Shaw is 0 for 2, but he started an important rally for the Red Sox last inning. With 2 outs and nobody on, he walked against Volquez. Then Rutledge doubled. Then Bradley was intentionally walked, setting up the 2-run single from Christian Vasquez, turning a 2-1 Boston lead into their 4-1 lead. He has had trouble against lefties. Very defensive swing. Still 0-2.
Yeah, Shaw 156 hitter against lefties.
Still 0-2. That foul ball goes into the Royals dugout. Shaw was born in 1990. That was the year his father Jeff made his big league debut. And then Jeff played parts of 12 years in the big leagues. Red Sox drafted him out of high school. He went to Kent State, and then they drafted him again out of college. So they've had their eye on him for a long time. Breaking ball stayed up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Popped up. Right center field. And Kane makes a play to end the inning. Well, the Royals were trailing by 3 going into the 7th against David Price in the American League Championship Series. Detroit swept Minnesota. Minnesota has now lost 11 of their last 13 games. Cleveland just wiped out Cincinnati last night and now tied at 7 in the top of the ninth. Opportunity for the Royals as Houston leads Chicago in the bottom of the 7th. If the Royals can come back and win this game, and if Houston hangs on, the Royals would be down by 3 on their way to play 3 in Chicago over the weekend.
Yeah, amazing how quick it changes.
So anyway, I made the point going to commercial. The Royals are 4 games back. I made the point going to commercial. Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. The Royals are down by 3 against Price going into the 7th. Off of Vasquez mask. 2 balls and 1 strike. And that's when the Royals, after that bloop by Ben Zobrist, dropped in between Goins and Batista. The Royals scored 5 in the 7th inning and ended up winning 6-3.
Now let's see if Cuthbert can drop one in the same spot. That foul ball off of Vasquez, that stung him a little. That's interesting. Zobrist, he took his swing and he threw his bat down, thinking this is out. Turned into a magical rally.
He was normally very nice to his bat, remember?
Yeah, well, especially when he barreled one up, he would set it down quietly, like put on do not disturb the bat sign.
Again off of Vasquez mask.
Might be the only time I remember Zobrist ever showing any emotion. The place erupted here at the K. I remember that. And I think, the crowd had something to do with it. It's a lot of noise and they couldn't communicate. Oh, good try on the doinker.
Rutledge makes the play. Cuthbert is 0 for 3. By the way, with the Panera out-of-town scoreboard, we have to thank our friends at Panera. A long day today, and nobody has had a longer day than our crew. And Panera, with the help of David Lazo from Fox Sports Kansas City, one of the sales account executives, came out with bags and bags of food from Panera Bread and fed the crew in between games of this doubleheader. So we thank them.
Got to take care of our teammates. Thank you, David and Panera.
Jammed. Long run in for Bradley, and he makes the play. The Red Sox think that Jackie Bradley Jr. is the best center fielder in the major leagues, and some have suggested, especially those who've been in the organization for a long time, think that he might be the best center fielder the Red Sox have ever had. Now, you can only go back so far. That's an old organization, but that is a nice play. He just put his head down and ran to the spot where he thought the ball was going to be, and there it was.
Well, he can do it all. He's got great speed, takes perfect routes, and he has a cannon for a throwing arm. All around, hard to disagree, especially offensively what he's doing now. You put both of those together, he's a surefire all-star.
Remember last year, Mookie Betts was in center field and Jackie Bradley Jr. was playing in right, and they have since switched. Bogart's backhands out at first, and David Price has gone 7 innings tonight with 99 pitches, giving up just 1 run on 4 hits. Debut so far is 1 for 2. Our sprint trivia question: name the players the last time multiple Royals made their major league debut in the same game. And I'm going to go with Tim Collins, Nate Adcock, and Aaron Crow. It was against the Angels on opening day.
Hey,
on a hot, windy day.
I'm going with you.
2011. So that actually was before you got here, Hud.
I went with you because you're right most of the time.
So it's a timely trivia question because Alec Mills is going to make his big league debut. Pitching at Double-A Northwest Arkansas. 1-1 in 7 starts. 44 strikeouts and 6 walks. We got a chance to see him pitch in big league camp, and he is aggressive, he works fast, and he throws strikes. And his first major league pitch is down and away to Josh Rutledge. And we believe that that is the Mills family. I think that's a safe bet.
Yep.
Especially with all the cell phones trying to capture this moment. And that looks like a nervous mother. I've seen enough major league debuts to know what a nervous mother looks like.
That's right. Well, he's got some good stuff. He's got a nice fastball. He'll go low 90s. A slider, curve, and a change.
There's the other nervous mom, Kissy Merrifield. 3 balls and 1 strike.
That looked like a little sinking action.
You know, that pitch right there, just hearing about Alec Mills, reading up on him, that pitch right there kind of sums up what has helped his career. And now he walks Rutledge. The count is 3 balls and no strikes, and you figure there are some nerves involved here. But instead of muscling up and throwing harder, he takes a little bit off of it. 91 miles an hour and throws a strike. And the Royals say he has a good feel for pitching. He doesn't overthrow. He's big. I mean, he certainly looks like a guy who could throw it through the catcher. So he walks Rutledge and now pitches to Jackie Bradley Jr. and misses low. And Salvador Perez is going to go out and have a chat with Mills and maybe check his blood pressure and heart rate.
That's right. Had a chance to meet him today, shake his hand, and all he told me was he's thrilled to be here and he hopes he gets in.
24 years old, out of Clarksville, Tennessee. Interesting story. He did not receive any Division I offers out of high school, so he figured his baseball career was over. There's a strike. So he went to the University of Tennessee at Martin to pursue an engineering degree. But one day, just driving around campus, he drove by the team's baseball field, and it just hit him that baseball was not yet out of his system. So he went to the coaches and asked for a tryout. He made the team. He didn't have a great college career. His college ERA was 5.81. The aluminum bat had something to do with that. But the Royals saw something in him and took him in the 22nd round in 2012. 4 years later, here he is in the big leagues.
You know, it looks like he throws a little bit across his body, so there's a little added deception to him. But anybody who can fill up the strike zone on the corners and down and away and working his spots is going to be effective. That was right down the middle. Just missed that one. There's something that has to be said for a guy that just knows what he's doing, and he just kind of feels his way in there. He's knows who he is. Doesn't try to overdo it.
On the ground, base hit. Rutledge will make the turn and go to third. Jackie Bradley Jr. with his 24-game hitting streak. He extended that in the second inning, and now he has a 2-hit game. And that brings up Christian Vasquez. He has the biggest hit of the game so far. Back in the 6th inning with the bases loaded and 2 down. He turned in our Dodge drive of the game.
Ball was well struck. 2-3-4 hopper up the middle. Bases were loaded. It walked the batter ahead of him, like you said. Jackie Bradley didn't want to face him with first base open, and he came through. And once again, Dayton Moore asked people in the organization, who's going to be our double-header specialist? Who's going to be our one guy that comes up? And he gets a vote of confidence from everybody before he makes a move.
And now hoping for a ground ball from Vasquez. Could really see the effects of the leadoff walk in this inning, because if Rutledge doesn't walk, Eric Hosmer is not holding him at first base, and the ground ball that Jackie Bradley Jr. hits is probably an out because Hosmer's deep on the first base side. So the walk set up the base hit, putting runners at the corners. Bradley Jr. runs, and it's fouled away. 0-2. Off the plate toward third. Out at first base. The Red Sox will probably take a look at this. A run scores as Rutledge comes down from third. So at the moment, there is 1 out in the inning. And John Farrell signals to the umpiring crew that he wants them to take another look at it.
Look close. Cuthbert, instead of bare-handing it, used the glove to transfer, but very quick transfer from glove to hand. I don't know. That was pretty close.
Red Sox used a challenge back in the 4th inning after Rutledge was called out trying to steal second base. And the call was overturned, so they maintained their challenge. But even if they had lost their challenge, it is the 7th inning or later, so they can always request an umpire review. You know, we haven't mentioned during this series, looking at John Farrell. Good to see him back on the field. Good to see him healthy. In the middle of August last year, it was announced that he was diagnosed with stage 1 lymphoma. And let's see, is the call confirmed, or does the call stand? Either way, Vasquez is out. The call was confirmed.
There you go.
So a good play by Cuthbert for the first out. Bradley Jr. goes to second base.
Vasquez gets a ribby.
Little pop up. Escobar wants it, and he's got it. Brock Holt is 0 for 4. Coming up Saturday, the world's best drivers compete in a winner-take-all fight for $1 million in the NASCAR Sprint Cup All-Star Race. It's at 7:30 p.m. only on FS1 or watch it on Fox Sports Go. Mookie Betts with Jackie Bradler Jr. at second base, 2 down. Takes a fastball upstairs. A double in the first inning for Betts, a home run in the third, a walk in the fifth, and then Moylan struck him out in the seventh. One ball and 1 strike. 23,739 in attendance here tonight. This is the makeup game from the rain out on Monday. And Mills hits Mookie Betts. Mom and Dad say that's not how we raised you.
Well, they just tell Mom, you know, it just got away. Trying to come inside and it missed. Right above the elbow. Mookie's not one of those guys that wears one of those elbow pads. His mom was like, oh.
If that is Mom, we think it is. Two on, two out to Xander Bogaerts. Breaking ball is high. Bogaerts is 1 for 3. He has walked and he has singled. Red Sox have the 2 longest hitting streaks in the major leagues right now. Jackie Bradley Jr. 24 games. Xander Bogaerts at 13 games. Two balls and no strikes. The Red Sox enter this series on quite a scoring binge. The Royals held them to 4 runs, fewer than 10 hits last night, 2 runs, fewer than 10 hits in game 1 today, but now 5 runs, 10 hits. 3 balls and no strikes.
So always trying to calm him down, you know, making some sign gestures to him. He's a little bit worked up. His command's not exactly like his folks were hoping for, and he was hoping for.
And he's missing inside to right-hand batter. So he hit Betts and then he missed with 4 straight to Bogaerts. And now with the bases loaded, 2 down and the Royals running out of time, Ned Yost is going to go to the mound and bring in Chin-Ming Wong. So Alec Mills, in his big league debut, gets a couple of outs. He leaves behind 3 base runners, and Chin-Ming Wong comes on to face David Ortiz. Royals baseball is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. Chin-Ming Wong comes on with the bases loaded, 2 down. The Red Sox have added to their lead here in the 8th inning. And Wong faces David Ortiz and what might be his last at bat in Kansas City, unless the 2 teams hook up in the playoffs this year. David Ortiz was signed by what organization originally?
Twins.
I'll bet 99% of the people watching tonight would say the same thing. He was signed by the Seattle Mariners in 1992 and went to Minnesota in a trade for Dave Hollins. That was in 1996. He was the Twins minor league player of the year in 1997. Released by Minnesota in the 2002 offseason. Released. Picked up by the Red Sox. He was the designated hitter of the year in his first year with Boston 13 years ago. He is out on a ground ball to Hosmer. The Red Sox get 1 run as Ortiz leaves the bases loaded and perhaps says goodbye to Kauffman Stadium. The Royals. David Price has allowed 1 run, 4 hits in 7 innings. He's retired the last 7 Royals. One of the 4 hits tonight came off the bat of Whit Merrifield in the 5th inning, his first big league hit. He takes a strike. Merrifield is also flied out to center field. Starting in left field in his first big league game, giving Alex Gordon the night off against Price, who has now thrown 100 pitches. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. David Price in his last start threw 113 pitches. His season high is 114. Just nicked it foul.
That's a nice swing. Wasn't like he was trying to just shorten up. I mean, he took a full rip. He doesn't lack confidence, that's for sure. You know, with the White Sox and all their lefties, all their left-handed pitchers, they're going to face Quintana on Friday, a righty, and then another lefty, Carlos Rodon. R-O-D-O-N.
Rodon.
Rodon. So, you know, Merrifield, he could see a little bit more action if he's still with the team.
One and two. Royals have only had one inning tonight where they've had more than one base runner. They had one runner in the second, one in the third, one in the fourth, two in the fifth, and no base runners in the sixth or the seventh. Merrifield chases a changeup in the dirt and strikes out. As we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
It's all about Merrifield. There you go, bud. Good job, family here. It's a very special moment in the Merrifield family, and he came through for him. First big league hit, relaxed everyone. Got that ball for a souvenir off of. Got his first big league hit off of a former Cy Young Award winner. One of the best in the business. Great bragging rights right there.
One and one on Escobar. He is 0 for 3 so far against David Price. And to left center field. That's Escobar's first hit. Holt cuts it off deep, but that's a long throw for him, and Escobar cruises into second base with a one-out double.
That's got to be about it for Price. Good swing. Nice parting gift. Little double. 6th on the year for Escobar. Holt hustles over and cuts it off before it gets to the wall.
So David Price, with a 6 ERA when the game started, holds the Royals to 1 run, 5 hits, and 7 1/3 innings. He's still responsible for Alcides Escobar. Junichi Tazawa comes in out of the Red Sox bullpen. Is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, with Joel Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery. With producer Joe Vencius, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman. The producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro, and the rest of our great Fox Sports Kansas City crew. They've had a long day.
Good job, fellas.
There's the Lorenzo Canes positioned out in center field. Escobar at second base, 1 out, and Tazawa throws a strike. Lorenzo is 0 for 3.
Tazawa, you know, he's going to use 4 pitches. He mixes them up. A lot of relievers don't use all 4 of their pitches. He's got a fastball, slider, curve, and a split finger. Fastball, he'll run up there, mid-90s.
And that's down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good fastball at 92. Look faster than that.
Yeah, sneaky quick. Most Japanese-born pitchers that pitch over there in Japan, they learn the art of deception, and they're really good at it. For Tazawa, when he comes set, he always flicks his fingers on his glove hand so to kind of throw the hitter off, and then he's got a little leg kick. He's got a little funky leg kick where he'll hesitate and kick it a couple times, and just a little bit of a throw off to the hitter. Just left foot.
Blocked by Vasquez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's been with the Red Sox since 2009, and a little different career. Most Japanese pitchers start by pitching professionally in Japan, and they've had a long career over there, and then they are granted free agency. And for years, you had to play there 9 or 10 years until you could be a free agent. But Tazawa was different. He bypassed the Japanese draft and signed with the Red Sox. Kane takes down and in. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Royals had a pitcher like that many years ago. Max Suzuki, remember him? Same thing. Did not pitch professionally in Japan. Immediately signed professionally in the United States and played in the big leagues for a brief time. 3-2. Up the middle, base hit center field. Here's Escobar around third. It is 5-2, and now the tying run is on deck.
Fans aren't giving up here at the gate, getting that Royals chant working. I mean, a little bit of kick in the finish to try to do all they can to sweep the Red Sox. Good pitch on the outer half, but Kane reaches it. It's down. 2-hopper right up the middle. Japanese pitchers have had a lot more success and run in the major leagues than position players. There's only been a few guys, and outside of Ichiro Suzuki has been obviously the best. Matsui was pretty good for the Yankees. He put up some really good years and helped them win a title. And then they had a catcher in Seattle, Koji Jojima.
Right.
Yep.
And he was okay.
He was okay. He didn't stay long enough. Stayed a few years, but really. And Kawasaki, you know, the utility player for the Blue Jays. Let's see what Haas has got.
Delayed call. And again, we saw this with David Price a couple of times. And here with Tazawa, he didn't hit his spot. But Pat Hoberg, the home plate umpire, said it was still in the strike zone, or in the case there, right on the edge of the strike zone. So that run was charged to Price, so he gives up 2 runs in 7 1/3 innings. Low to Hosmer, 1 ball, 1 strike. Hosmer was 0 for 3 against Price. 3 out of 4 with a double against Tazawa. The Royals had a memorable rally against Tazawa last year. They scored 4 in the 9th inning at Fenway Park in August. Remember that game?
I do.
You and Fizz were doing that game on television. So here's Tazawa. Drew Butera, Alcides Escobar,
Look at
Lorenzo Cain.
Work the opposite field.
Eric Hosmer, and I think Mike Moustakas got the biggest hit.
And I believe every one of them was an opposite field hit. I remember that.
Hit well to right field, but sinking. Betts makes the play. Cain was way off of first base, and the Red Sox get a double play.
Well, on contact, it sounded good, and Haas hit it, but he hit the top half of the ball, and it had topspin on it, and it sunk right into Mookie Betts. Cain got way too far off. Betts has a good arm. That's his 4th outfield assist.
With the base running mistake to end that inning. Guys, you mentioned David Lazo and the Panera hookup for the crew. I wanted to give a little shout out to the Lazo family. It seems like David's son Jackson was just a young 10-year-old when I got here, probably because he was, but he is signed to play basketball, college basketball. Ryan, Paul Splittoff will be proud. I'll give you that hint.
Morningside?
Morningside College, Jackson Lazo. So congratulations.
Oh, good for him. Hanley Ramirez is out on 1 pitch from Chien-Ming Wang. Wang got the final out of the 8th inning for Alec Mills, who ends up giving up 1 run in 2/3 of an inning. And it brings up Travis Shaw. Shaw's 0 for 3 so far. He does have a walk and a run scored. And we mentioned it earlier. That was an important walk. When the Red Sox batted in the 6th inning, it was a 2-1 Boston lead. And with 2 outs and nobody on, Shaw walked. Rutledge doubled. Bradley was intentionally walked to get to Vasquez, and he hit a 2-run single. That's the biggest hit of the game. So that all started with a Shaw walk, and the Red Sox at that point led 4-1. Then 5-1 after a run in the 8th, and the Royals just scored in the bottom of the 8th. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A lot of power to the opposite field for Travis Shaw. And we were talking earlier about how the Red Sox had an eye on him in high school, drafted him. He went to college and they drafted him out of college. Now Chili Davis, a one-time Royal, has gotten his hands on him, and with that opposite field power as a left-hand batter, the green monster at Fenway Park is a very inviting target.
Yeah, and when you play there for a while and you get used to that swing, you recognize pitches middle away and you can wear that wall out, man, all day long.
You brought up Mo Vaughn's name. We were talking about recent guys who have just worn out the green monster.
Yes, Reggie Jefferson used to be really good at it too.
2 down, first strikeout for Chin-Ming Wong.
Hey fans, this season at the K, the weekend starts early because every Thursday home game is Buck Night. Come enjoy Royals baseball while saving some hard-earned cash. Enjoy delicious hot dogs and peanuts for just $1 a piece. Get your ticket now for Thursday Buck Nights at the K by calling 1-800-6-ROYALS or online at royals.com/promotions. Buck Night. Come and get you a hot dog.
Was that last line part of the script, or was
No,
that was just
that was an ad lib?
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Thank you. That's an atom ball.
Royals are down by 3 as they come up in the bottom of the 9th inning. Craig Kimbrell will get Kendrys Morales, Salvador Perez, and Chesler Cuthbert. Bottom of the 9th inning. In support of May is Mental Health Month, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with NAMI the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and their commitment to improving the lives of families and those affected by mental health conditions. Learn more about how to be stigma-free and visit foxsportsupports.com. Craig Kimbrell in his first year with the Red Sox. Biggest years with the Atlanta Braves. He spent last year with San Diego. 10 out of 11 in save opportunities so far this year. He has 3 runs to work with tonight. And he's ahead of Kendrys Morales, no balls and 1 strike.
28 strikeouts in 17 innings. Pretty strong. Good fastball, slider.
With that eagle-like pose, or hawk-like pose. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's impressive.
Right.
Before he left Atlanta, he was their all-time saves leader. Fastball at 97, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yep, he's got a funky arm angle.
National League Rookie of the Year in 2011. Led the league in saves again in 2012 and again in 2013. That got Morales on the foot. Royals need 2 base runners for a chance.
Third time Morales has been hit this year. 13th time overall. Slider on the back toe.
How many balls has Vasquez taken off the mask tonight?
Yeah.
Salvador Perez drove in the Royals' first run in the 4th inning with a home run off of David Price. .97 and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Let's take a look at Salvi's 6th home run of the season. Price, fastball down the middle. Didn't work for Salvi. Took it, bombed it.
Out of the strike zone. 1-1. On the ground, Bogarts out at second. High throw, double play. Hit it hard, but right to Bogarts at short. And now the Red Sox are 1 out away from winning the final game of the series. Coming up after the game, Boulevard Royals Live. Joel and Monty will go over the highlights of tonight's game. You hear from Royals manager Ned Yost. Other reaction from the Royals clubhouse. If Kimbrell closes this out, it is still a winning series for the Royals, their 2nd consecutive winning series, and their 3rd winning homestand out of 4. They had that 1 short homestand against Washington where they lost 2 out of 3. 98. No balls and 2 strikes. I'll bet Kimbrell's seen a lot of that in his career.
Sure. It's a very unusual starting position.
98 and outside. That guy in the middle, he's got a 1985 World Series hat. There they go. Two balls and two strikes. Kimbrel was the fastest pitcher in Major League history to 500 strikeouts. He did it in 305 innings.
Man, that's incredible. You know, he's got the stuff.
And then passed by Aroldis Chapman last year, who did it in 292 innings. 3-2 on Cuthbert with Omar Infante on deck.
You throw that hard, you're going to get a lot of swing and misses.
Strikeout. Kimbrel gets the save, his 11th. Christian Vasquez brings him the baseball, and Vasquez also delivered the biggest hit tonight. That 2-out 2-run single in the 6th inning. So the Royals win the series. The Red Sox win the finale. Final score 5-2, and we'll be right back.